Ladies and gents, welcome back. Are unvaccinated Canadian workers the new temporary worker class? Now, I don't ordinarily start my videos with a question, but I want to throw this question out to you guys this morning because I'm looking at the trends in some of these articles that are happening, and it seems that that's what's going on right now. Now, we saw earlier that Canada's airports are looking to get workers back. And that's really the push and the effort here, as we have the tourism industry is ramping up and people are coming back to visiting Canada and people are done with these travel restrictions. The airports are just hectic. It's terrible. And they need to get people back to work. And it's the same way along all other industries, whether it's hospitals or what have you. Anyone who works for the government or getting passports taken care of, things like this, if you were let go, and now it's time to go back to work, apparently, because the science has changed suddenly for the federal government. Not that it's changed for the provincial governments, but it's changed just drastically recently from the federal government. Now we have here a story from True North. The feds are refusing to compensate lost salaries of unvaccinated federal workers. The Trudeau government is refusing to repay the loss of salaries of civil servants who were suspended for declining to get the COVID-19 vaccine now that the federal mandate has been lifted. Without hesitation, the governmental affairs minister, Dominic LeBlanc, immediately shut down reporters who asked whether the unvaccinated workers would be compensated. Absolutely not, said LeBlanc before leaving the press conference. The announcement just came just as the Liberal government announced a change to its pandemic protocol. As of June 20th, unvaccinated Canadians will be able to board a train, a plane, travel domestically and internationally, and go back to work, right? Additionally, unvaccinated federal workers will be able to return to their jobs. The move came after mounting pressure from the public and industry groups surrounding airport delays and cancellations. Nearly 2,000 federal employees were suspended from their jobs without leave for not being fully vaccinated, according to the Treasury Board of Canada. Now, this is where the question comes in. Okay, well, they don't want to compensate them. I know the unions have had a hard time. People have had a hard time. I believe it was the CUPE the unions just straight up said, nope, sorry, we're not going to help you. We're not going to fight for the unvaccinated to get their jobs back at the time. Now we're, well, here, let's continue reading this article. Several major unions, including the Public Service Alliance of Canada, PSAC, SACA something, a Professional Institute of the Public Service of Canada, PIPSC, and the Canadian Associated of Professional Employees, CAPE, I think it used to be CUPE, I guess CAPE, have launched grievance actions on behalf of the impacted employees now that they're employees once again. With all due respect, Minister LeBlanc, our policy grievances on behalf of workers on leave without pay are a legal issue, not a political one. So we'll leave the rhetoric to lawyers on this one, said SAC President Chris Aliward. According to CAPE President Greg Phillips, his union will also seek compensation for the lost salaries of the workers. So we're seeking these compensations, but yeah, we're in a pickle here. We're in a pickle here where they need these people back because there's a lot of political pressure at the moment to get these people back to work. Now, they don't want to compensate people who were left stranded. Like, people were legitimately left stranded. The unions were powerless to do anything. A lot of them not willing to do anything because they didn't want to put themselves on the line in that case. In that case, well, what is the point of a union at that point? And then now the unions are coming back saying, yeah, we got your back. We got your back. There's a lot of things, a lot more in this article. CAPE has filed several individual grievances for employees put on leave without pay during the mandatory vaccine mandate and will seek reimbursement for their lost salaries however possible. Now, this could be months and months and months away. Meanwhile, we have citizens who were let go from their jobs and told you can't come back because yada yada, vaccine mandate. You didn't do it. We're not allowing you to come into work for this reason. Now, the announcement to allow people to come back to work, go back to work from the federal government was, met with a lot of applause, but was still came with stipulations. So the requirements were suspended, not lifted. And well, in the same conference, it's amazing, in the same conference that they were announcing that they're suspending these, Trudeau's health minister, Jean-Yves Duclos, says 2 doses of the COVID vaccine doesn't work anymore. The government is transitioning to a new definition of what it means to be fully vaccinated. And this is what he has to say here.
What we also know from Dr. Tan and every other expert on COVID-19 is that although 2 doses still protects significantly well against severe disease and death, 2 doses are not enough now to protect against infection and transmission. And that is why we are transitioning now to an up-to-date vaccination definition of what it means to be adequately protected against COVID-19. Fully protected with 2 doses doesn't work anymore. Dr. Tam said that last Friday. It's now up-to-date vaccination.
All right, he just repeats himself. So what's going on here is now that they're switching it to you need to have the booster. They're no longer going to call it fully vaccinated. They're going to call it up-to-date. If you're not up-to-date, when the suspension is lifted. So here it is. The permanency, there's nothing more permanent than a temporary government measure. So they put vaccine mandates in place for federal workers as a stipulation for employment. This is part of your requirements for employment. That has been suspended. That means that is a permanent thing that they're suspending, and then they reserve the right if any other emergencies that they declare come back into effect, i.e. maybe a 7th wave that Theresa Tam was talking about, or maybe even monkeypox, they could let you go. So the question now is, because it's a requirement, are unvaccinated, or maybe we should start calling them undervaccinated, or not up-to-date Canadians, are not up-to-date Canadians now at least for federal job requirements, are they the new temporary workers? Can they be called in to work and then kicked to the curb at any given time? Is that something that people would like to have as a stipulation for their terms of employment? And I think that's going to push a lot of people out from wanting to go back to these jobs. And not to mention, a lot of people who had these jobs and were let go are outright refusing. They're like, no, I got something else. I've got another gig now. You guys can screw right off, because a lot of people don't want to get called back to work, give up something that they have currently, only to get fired in the fall. So I don't know. Let me know. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Do you think that this is a trend, and that this is what they're going to do? Because they've spelled it out for us at this point, that this is what appears what they would like to do. It's only a matter of time before they implement it. Anyway, we'll see you guys in the next video. Tune in to the live stream. It's happening this evening at 6:30 Pacific. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit that like button, and we'll see you in the next one. Keep on trucking.